Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're embarking on an incredible journey
Mm-hmm.
right into the heart of Nigeria. We're exploring four really distinct states, and each one tells, well, a unique, vibrant story.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've been immersing ourselves in a rich stack of sources, mainly this Devon Nigerian Notes.pdf,
That's the one.
and it's just absolutely bursting with cultural, historical, and uh, geographical insights.
These notes are truly exceptional, I have to say. The level of detail, it lets us not just find facts, but really unearth some surprising connections
Right.
and understand the underlying patterns that make each of these regions so distinct.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is basically to pull out the most compelling insights, the unique traditions, the vibrant stories.
With real substance.
Yeah, the stuff that makes each state stand out. You're definitely going to come away with some genuine aha moments, I think, seeing how deep history and like modern ambition weave together.
Should be fascinating.
All right, let's kick off our journey into Nigeria's heart. We'll start with Akwa Ibom. It's known affectionately as the Land of Promise.
Land of Promise.
It's quite a powerful name, isn't it? What's the real story there? What makes it, live up to that?
Well, what's really compelling is how that promise isn't just like economic, it's deeply woven into the cultural fabric itself.
Okay.
Akwa Ibom is this vibrant mix of major ethnic groups. You've got the Ibibio, the Anyang, and the Uron.
Right.
And while it's predominantly Christian, their faith isn't just sort of adopted wholesale. It's beautifully fused with ancient traditional practices, things like ancestral worship and these incredible masquerades. So it creates this really unique spiritual and cultural tapestry, past and present dancing together, you could say.
That fusion sounds genuinely rich.
Yeah.
And what about its history? Because it seems like this state has seen just remarkable transformation in a relatively short time.
Yeah.
I mean, I was struck by how it went from these ancient roots to launching its own airline. That's quite a leap.
Absolutely. I mean, formally, it was created in 1987, carved out of Cross River State.
Okay.
But its origins, they stretch way back to powerful ancient Ibibio and Efik civilizations.
Right.
Christian missions like the Hope Waddell Institute back in 1905, they definitely left their mark. But the real promise, as you say, it really took flight in modern times, especially with significant oil and gas development.
Ah, the resources.
Exactly. But it wasn't just about digging it up. It spurred this kind of economic dynamism
Yeah.
that led to amazing milestones, like establishing Ibom Air, headquartered right there in Uyo.
Wow.
It's really a testament to rapid strategic growth, a modern success story, literally taking to the skies.
That rapid ascent is quite something. So how do we see that cultural richness and that spirit of promise
Right.
reflected in their celebrations? Are there specific festivals?
Oh, definitely. Their festivals are perfect examples. You've got the annual Ikpe Festival, that's an Anang celebration. It's a huge spectacle.
Okay.
Masquerades, music, dance, all honoring ancestral heroes.
Sounds vibrant.
And then there's Usoro Ikong. That's a powerful festival, usually around September or October, specifically honoring warriors and heroines.
Right.
These aren't just parties. They're like communal affirmations of identity and strength. Really important.
And the music scene seems to capture that spirit too, right?
Yeah.
From what the notes say, you have traditional sounds, drums, dance, masquerade music,
Very rhythmic.
but then also modern gospel artists like Pastor Nathaniel Bassey and Jimmy D. Salmas coming from the state.
That's right. Big names.
I can really see that potential for musical fusion here, blending those traditional Ibibio rhythms, the drumming, with contemporary gospel or maybe even Afrobeat.
Absolutely. For a real storytelling vibe.
It feels like a natural evolution, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
And look, you just can't talk about Akwa Ibom without mentioning the food. Its culinary richness.
Ah, yes. Tell me more.
It's renowned for its palm oil-based dishes and, given its coastal access, tons of fresh seafood.
Like,
And these really hearty soups and stews are staples, often made with fufu, the doughy cassava staple, or gari, that granular cassava, plantain, yam. The usual suspects, but done really well.
and flavors.
You get those signature spicy southern flavors, a vibrant mix of chili, local herbs, palm oil. You can smell it humming in the bustling markets in Uyu and Ekit.
Sounds delicious. And visually, what about clothing and style?
Oh, it's a visual feast. Think beautiful Ankara prints and those luxurious George wrappers.
Right, the wrappers.
Intricate beaded jewelry, too. And, of course, those incredibly vibrant masquerade costumes used in the festivals. They're not just outfits. They're packed with visual and spiritual symbolism, telling stories with every thread and bead, really.
Amazing detail. And iconic locations. Where should people know about?
Well, Uyo, the capital, definitely stands out. It's a real hub of modern development. It's got the impressive Godswill Akpabio International Stadium.
Right.
And the stunning Akwa Ibom International Worship Center.
Yeah.
Very modern landmark.
Got it.
And then there's Ikat Ekpen, famously known as Raffia City.
Raffia City. Why is that?
It's a historical hub for raffia crafts, really intricate work. And of course, you've got coastal spots like Ibeno Beach for some natural beauty.
Okay, so wrapping up Akwa Ibom, it's also a state of incredible linguistic diversity. Over 20 languages.
That's right, though Ibibio is dominant. It's a place where wisdom is often shared through proverbs. They speak volumes about community, self-reliance.
Like which ones?
Well, there's one, Ekbo Ufuk Ukugo Owo. It basically translates to, trouble often begins at home. A bit of a warning, maybe.
Interesting.
And another one that really fits that land of promise idea, the need for collective effort, Ito Kit Isikabake Ake.
Which means?
One tree does not make a forest. You need everyone working together.
Powerful stuff. Okay, so from Akwa Ibom's dynamic land of promise, let's transition now. We're moving to Borno.
Right. A very different feel.
Yeah, a state with such a profound history. But its motto offers this. Pregnant, almost defiant contrast. Home of peace. How does that duality play out in its identity, especially, given its recent history?
This is really where that motto becomes, well, an active aspiration, not just a label. Borno's ethnic makeup is dominated by the Kanuri.
Okay.
But you also have Shua Arabs, Babur Bura, many others. It's a deeply pluralistic cultural landscape.
Right.
And the population is predominantly Muslim, around 85%, with Sharia law guiding civic life in many areas.
So that spiritual foundation is key.
Absolutely. It profoundly shapes the community's collective yearning for peace, framing it not just as, an absence of conflict, but as a kind of divinely ordered societal harmony they're actively striving to rebuild.
And historically, Borno is just immense, isn't it?
Oh, hugely significant. From the 700s onward, it was home to the incredibly powerful Kanem Bornu Empire.
Right, lasting centuries.
Yeah, centuries. It massively influenced trans-Saharan trade, Islamic scholarship, major regional power.
Yeah.
It was later incorporated into British northern Nigeria in the early 1900s. And its modern history really reflects that duality you mentioned. Borno State was formed in 1976. But then, tragically, it became the very center of the Boko Haram insurgency starting around 2009.
Right. Devastating conflicts.
Exactly. Major conflicts that reshaped society. So that motto, Home of Peace, it isn't just an ideal. It's a defiant statement of resilience.
Yeah.
An active collective aspiration. You see it in the community's commitment to preserving cultural events, traditions, even amidst all that.
That's powerful.
It reveals this deep, almost spiritual resistance. It redefines what peace means in their context.
It really makes you think about how powerful a collective hope can be against huge challenges.
Absolutely.
And despite those challenges, traditions endure, like the Durbar celebration.
Oh, yes, the Durbar. It reflects that significant Hassa Fulani Arab influence, magnificent horse-mounted parades.
A pageantry.
Exactly. Flutes, trumpets, drumming, especially during Eid. And Maiduguri also hosts local cultural exhibitions, dance, attire, crafts. It showcases a deep cultural resilience.
Yeah. And the music. Is it similar, rooted in tradition?
Very much so. It's primarily rooted in oral traditions. You have praise singers, Quranic chants, Kanuri poetic forms, animating ceremonies, community gatherings. Modern bands might be rarer, but the tradition thrives through these vibrant community performances. It's a vital thread.
Still potential for fusion, though.
Oh, definitely. You could imagine blending that traditional drumming or the praise chants with modern beats, creating an evolving soundscape that honors both past and present.
Interesting. And what about the landscape, the geography and wildlife?
It's quite unique. It ranges from Sahelian savanna up north to the floodplains of Lake Chad further south.
Okay.
You'd find places like Chad Basin National Park, historically home to elephants, roan antelope, and Sandakiri Mizu in Maiduguri, a significant park with lions, crocodiles, ostriches.
But impacted by recent events.
Yes. It's important to note these areas have been hit by recent floods. And then there's Sambisa Forest,
Right.
Ecologically significant, but also tragically impacted by the conflict. Its narrative is complex now.
Understandable.
Yeah.
And key figures associated with Borno today.
Well, Borno has produced notable leaders deeply involved in its recovery and rebuilding efforts. People like Vice President Kashim Shettima
Okay.
and the current governor, Babagana Zulum, both very active.
And iconic sites.
In Maiduguri, the capital, you have the historic Central Mosque built back in 1918.
Wow, over a century old.
Yeah, and the Emir's Palace. Both are vital centers of civic and spiritual life, standing as symbols of that enduring heritage.
Okay, so from Borno's poignant aspiration for peace, we shift our focus again, now to Kaduna, the center of learning.
Right. Another fascinating contrast.
It really is. What makes a state with such a rich mix of cultures truly embody this sort of intellectual identity?
Well, Kaduna really stands out as a remarkable melting pot. It's home to over 60 ethnic groups.
60.
Yeah. Including the Hausa, Fulani, mainly in the north, and groups like the Atiap, Baju, Kamuku in the south. Big mix.
And religions, too.
Yes. Islam and Christianity coexist alongside indigenous practices. You see it shaping architecture, festivals, daily life. And this incredible diversity itself, I think, fosters a unique environment. Constant cultural exchange, coexistence. That's a powerful form of learning right there in action.
That makes sense. And its history also laid the groundwork.
Definitely. Originally, it was part of the ancient Zazao kingdom.
Okay.
The area was later named Kaduna, which is believed to come from the Hausa word for crocodiles.
Yeah.
Apparently, there were lots in the local river.
Huh. Crocodiles.
And it became incredibly significant under British colonial rule. It was chosen as the capital of the northern region.
Right, that's a big deal.
Huge. Cemented its status as a central hub for administration, intellectual exchange, from around 1912 to 1920 onwards.
So that history feeds this center of learning idea. And the festivals. Do they reflect this diversity?
Absolutely. They're like living classrooms of tradition. You
Yeah.
have the Afan National Festival in Kagoro. Yeah, it's a tradition over 400 years old. Kicks off the new year, January 1st, with a symbolic hunting charade, energetic dances, marches.
Sounds lively.
Very. Then there's the Ayet Atyap Festival, held annually by the Atyap people. It blends traditional hunts with ritual drumming and agricultural blessings. And of course, the Grand Durbar tradition is also prominent there too, reflecting centuries of history, like in Borno.
And the music reflects this mix too. Hausa praise poetry, drumming.
Yeah, rich with Hausa praise poetry and that drumming-led festival sound, especially during Durbar and local ceremonies. And it's interesting how local radio stations like Rockside FM, Liberty FM, they play a crucial role.
How so?
They actively blend contemporary sounds with these traditional folk rhythms, helps ensure these sounds keep evolving and reach new generations,
That's smart. Okay, let's talk food. What are the staples in Kaduna?
Right, cuisine. You'll find northern staples like tu shinkafa, that's a rice-based swallow, and tu masara, made from corn flour, usually paired with hearty northern soups like myeon kuka, which is made from baobab leaves.
Baobab leaves. Interesting.
Yeah. But if you're talking iconic street food, it's got to be suya and kilishi.
Ah, yes. The grilled meat.
Exactly. That smoky, spicy flavor you find in the vibrant market scenes, absolute must-tries.
Got it. Now, here's something really unexpected from the notes for Kaduna. Kajuru Castle.
Ah, yes. Kajuru Castle. It's quite something.
A medieval-style fortress built by a German expatriate.
Between 1981 and 1989, yeah. Complete with turrets, dungeons, the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
Perched dramatically atop a mountain. It's this surreal blend of European fantasy and the Nigerian landscape. Very unique landmark.
Definitely unexpected.
Yeah.
So let's bring it back to the motto, Center of Learning.
Yeah.
How does all this connect? What makes that title stick?
Right. It becomes really clear when you look at its major educational institutions. You've got Ahmadu Bello University, ABU.
Huge university.
Exactly, a leading research institution. Then Kaduna Polytechnic, a big hub for technical education.
The prestigious Nigerian Defense Academy, the NDA, and the Air Force Institute of Technology, AFIT, all major centers.
Okay, so a real concentration of higher education.
Precisely. And is also home to notable figures who operate on a national and international stage, like Amina J. Mohammed, the current UN Deputy Secretary General,
Wow, okay.
and Namadi Sambo, a former vice president. So these institutions, these individuals, they collectively solidify Kaduna's intellectual legacy and its ongoing contribution.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, last stop on our tour. Let's conclude with Sokoto, reverently known as the seat of the caliphate.
Yes. A very significant title.
It's not just historical, is it? What does that powerful legacy really mean for the state today?
Its identity is just deeply, profoundly intertwined with its Islamic heritage. It's predominantly populated by Hausa and Fulani people.
Right.
And it serves as Nigeria's vital center of Islamic learning. It's home to the Sultan, who is the spiritual head of Nigerian Muslims.
So a major spiritual leader resides there. Exactly. And that enduring legacy, it permeates everything. Governance, daily customs, the whole fabric of life.
The historical events here are incredibly profound, directly shaping its present, aren't they?
Absolutely pivotal. Sokoto State itself was established in 1976.
Okay.
But its origins go back to Usman Dan Fodio's 1804 jihad. That event formed the vast Sokoto Caliphate,
Right.
which profoundly shaped West African history and the spread of Islam across the region, a monumental impact.
And you can still see echoes of that past.
You can. There's the UNESCO tentative site, the Surami Ruins.
Surami.
Yeah, they're literal echoes of a 16th century fortified city. It gives you a tangible link to that powerful pre-caliphate past as well, history layered on history.
Wow. And the festivals reflect this deep heritage.
Oh, absolutely. Especially the magnificent Durbar parades. They are living testaments to that heritage.
Like in Borno and Kaduna, but maybe even more central here.
Arguably, yes, given its role as the seat of the caliphate.
Right.
Breathtaking equestrian pageantry, trumpets, drums, especially during Eid celebrations. It's spectacular.
And the music. Similar tradition.
Rich traditions, yes.
Yep.
House of praise singing is very prominent, and melodic Fulani flute performances are characteristic too.
Yeah.
But there's also this unique literary musical fusion inspired by figures like Nana Asma'u.
Nana Asma'u. Tell me about her.
She was a hugely influential princess, poet, teacher, daughter of Usman Dan Fodio. She spearheaded the Yantaru movement.
Yantaru.
Yes, essentially a collective of educated women who traveled teaching other women. It integrated education, poetry, female scholarship, right into the cultural fabric.
That's incredible. Female empowerment through knowledge way back then.
A powerful legacy, absolutely.
And the traditional attire in Sokoto. Does it also reflect this status?
Very much so. It's truly distinctive and rich with cultural meaning. You'll see these elegant Baba and Riga robes, large, flowing, heavily embroidered gowns,
Okay.
beautifully embroidered hula caps, and turbans are common too. And the colors, the designs often align with social rank in the specific ceremony.
So it communicates status and occasion.
Precisely. A very visually rich culture that communicates through its dress.
And the population itself, what's the makeup?
It's around 6 million people, primarily Muslim Hausa Fulani. And what's interesting is that over 80% are engaged in agriculture.
80%. Wow.
Yeah, a deep connection to the land. And this strong agricultural base, it directly supports thriving traditional crafts.
Like what?
Things like blacksmithing, weaving, and especially leatherworks. Sokoto leather has historically been famous, skills passed down through generations.
Right. Cultural continuity alongside the economy.
Exactly.
And key places to know in Sokoto.
Definitely Sokoto City itself, the capital. It's home to the Sultan's Palace, a grand symbol of that spiritual and traditional authority. And the Gidan Makama Museum, which showcases regional art and history. And as we mentioned, those Surume ruins, a powerful historical site whispering stories of ancient kingdoms.
What an incredible journey that was through Akwa Ibom's promise and rapid development.
The dynamism.
Then Borno's profound resilience in the face of just immense adversity.
Truly inspiring.
Kaduna's intellectual energy as this melting pot of learning.
The center of learning, yeah.
And finally, Sokoto's deep living legacy as the seat of the caliphate.
It really highlights that each state, while it's an integral part of the larger Nigerian tapestry,
Right.
possesses such a distinct identity, forged by its unique history, its culture, its people.
Yeah.
And understanding these individual narratives, it just gives such profound insights into the incredible diversity and, frankly, the strength of the nation as a whole.
So after this deep dive, thinking about everything we covered, what stood out to you most about these regions? What surprising connections maybe jumped out at you?
That's a good question to ponder. And maybe for you listening, consider those distinct identities we talked about. What unique cultural markers from your own corner of the world would you say best define its spirit?
Yeah.
And how do they contribute to a larger national narrative wherever you are? It's a fascinating question, isn't it? How our local stories weave into that bigger picture.
It really is. Something to definitely think about. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.